another minute to reconnect because we had like almost 40 people. I guess we'll have at least that many now. So let's give them like one more minute. Where can I see the questions? The channel with questions.
We made a here a chat saying Yoshi questions. It's below on the community tab, below off
Yes,
topic.
yes, thank you.
Okay.
I
Um. So for those who weren't on the other AMA, I think we can start, or should we give them another minute? I think maybe we start just the introduction. So for the people who weren't on the other AMA, now we're going to be holding an AMA for Yoshi Exchange. So you guys can learn a little bit more about their project, what they're about. I think they're doing something that is very cool. I'm actually very excited, and I'm going to have to ask some questions because I personally want to ask them. So, yeah, I think it's going to be very interesting for you guys because they're doing something that hasn't been done yet on Phantom, at least that I've seen. So it's pretty cool. So Ted, can you give us an explanation on how you would present Yoshi to a new investor?
Okay, so just a couple sentences. So Yoshi Exchange is a DEX aggregator native to Phantom. It also aggregates DEXs on Binance Smart Chain and on Ethereum. And it currently in active stage of development of fiat on ramp integration. And also we are going to launch a wallet which should be working very well combined with fiat on ramp. For instance, people should be able to attach their card details and set them for more convenient usage afterwards. And also another interesting thing which very often becomes undervalued is our widget, which allows protocols which don't have their own swap functionality to simply integrate it on their website. Actually, it can be any website, but it makes sense mostly for protocols which accept tokens, or at least, I don't know, any random services which accept tokens, so that if a potential customer doesn't have the required tokens, that customer would stay focused on that site and wouldn't be leaving to any other site to get those tokens, because afterwards, for any reasons, that customer may never return. But with our widget, that customer simply wouldn't leave the website whatsoever. And can you imagine how many, deals don't go through because people leave the website? So yeah, I think it's also a very valuable feature which we already give, and which we are also constantly enhancing. So by the way, okay. So Bill is not here, but he's been on the first part of the AMA, probably because he knows us very well already. So he's not interested about me talking about Yoshi. But yeah, so Bill is the founder of Dark Matter DeFi. They also integrated our widget several. I wouldn't even say several weeks ago, maybe a week ago or so. And since then, we've already updated it with a couple of new features. And also, what's interesting is that it's very convenient even for me. I mean, I often personally do use Dark Matter DeFi for various services, and now I don't even have to go back to Yoshi Exchange website. I just do all the swaps that I need on Dark Matter DeFi site. So that's also awesome how it works in reality.
Yeah, and we're implementing this for ourselves. Soon enough, you're gonna be able to buy Scarab straight from our website thanks to Yoshi and their widget. We are
We
implementing it, just finishing up some technical details that we've been discussing. So
and what?
yeah, it's coming
Yes.
soon.
Let me add that, when, of course, it's just a widget, so it's like a part of our site on your site. So it has all the aggregators capabilities. So if there are some good, big liquidity pools on the dexes that we aggregate, and not much liquidity of specific tokens on Yoshi itself, then of course it would uh, get the deals from the aggregated pools, and that's awesome. So our aggregator doesn't prioritize our pools in any way. If another pool is better, then it would pull the deal from there. And what's interesting that it doesn't always happen with all dexes, although I think it should. Sometimes, for some reason, especially when the pool is very small, okay, so one, it's actually, I'm telling you the real story because it happened with one of our partners, which also integrated our widgets. So on some dexes on Phantom Network, when you try to do a swap, it actually simply recalculates by the price for the first token. But if the pool is very small and your deal drains like a big part of the pool, then of course it should be honestly showing you the price of the medium, like the middle token from the deal. So our widget does exactly that. So for instance, if your swap would be draining more than half of the pool, then you'll seriously be able to see that you are not getting a good deal. But that rarely happens only for, with an aggregator, when so many pools for every pair are available. That only happens with some unpopular tokens, or maybe some pairs which are rarely used. But it does. So it always shows like the fair amount that you will get from the swap, not just the market price.
Yeah, that is pretty useful because sometimes I've gotten screwed more than once on price impacts. They tell me that I'm gonna get a lot more than I end up getting, and it's always one of those heartbreaking things. I just lost too much money. So yeah, I think it's very good. Um, I do want to ask one question before we get to
Okay.
the community questions. Which is I want you to tell us a little bit more, if you can, about your fiat on ramp, because that to me is an amazing service. It's going to allow people that, projects like ours to have people just trade directly from their credit card to buy Scarab directly. It's a very cool implementation. I think it has very, very good potential. So I'm very interested to hear some more about it because I don't think I've ever seen anything like that yet, and it could be a real game changer. So, do tell us how you're doing that and how your road is going.
Uh, well, yeah. So actually, like the main idea, the main planned feature for Yoshi is delivering fiat and ramp to Phantom because it indeed hasn't been implemented on Phantom yet. It's important because of how difficult it is for like newcomers to crypto get directly to Phantom. And if we believe in the strength of Phantom, in how many people say it's convenient for the development and the ecosystem is very good and benefiting for the protocols on it, then of course we might also be willing to get more newcomers directly into this network, and those people might only have either just a card and or maybe they have some tokens on some other networks, but once again, if those are just newbies, then it might be more convenient for them to get some new tokens by card. I mean, especially in the light of what we've seen over the last several months, when majority of centralized exchanges, which technically had functionality of withdrawing Phantom directly to Phantom Network, actually didn't provide such functionality in reality for some reason. I remember Binance, I've been checking almost every day whether I'm able to withdraw to Phantom or not. For last couple of weeks, it works, but it didn't for several months before that. So I don't know what's happening. Maybe they had some liquidity issues and they simply didn't want to let some Phantom out in order to keep it enough for trading. I don't know. I don't blame them, but because it's been actually happening on many central exchanges, not just Binance, simultaneously. So what I'm saying that of course it will be able to popularize the network itself, and of course, in addition to that, some specific services on Phantom Network, which may, especially the ones which may be interested in involving more people who are not really into crypto. And yeah, so as for the process of implementing it, so it's quite hard to deal with TradeFi institutions, especially when you are presenting them with new networks they never heard of. It's not like Ethereum; it's been for several years around. So uh, too many documents, too many lawyers, and of course, one of the main, I'd also call that a feature, is that we want to deliver it in as many countries as possible, not just several, jurisdictions which are very favorable towards crypto, like Germany, Lithuania, Malta, those kind of countries. We want to enable it in as many countries as possible, including all of the United States, or at least where we can realistically do it possible, take into account all the legal costs and all the processes. So one of the major steps has been done, and it took like several times more time than it should have. We finally, I mean, we did that, I guess, by the middle of December, but we hoped to get it done much sooner. So we have received a license on our legal entity to deal with crypto, and this license would allow us to actually sign deals with payment card operators globally. It's in Lithuania. Lithuania is one of the countries which provide such licenses, and which is quite a crypto favorable jurisdiction overall. But it's just the beginning. So now we are preparing the documentation, uh, and this documentation also depends on regulations on every specific country or at least region, because okay, so it's maybe some it's still not uniform, but somewhat uniform for the EU. It's even less so for United States, and other regions have their regulations too. And if to be able to enable this going and going smoothly without regular blocks, we must make sure to that everything goes according to the plan. And that is one of the reasons. Okay, maybe I'm explaining too much. I don't want to steal anyone's questions, but I'll tell just one more thing. So that's one of the reasons why we're being so careful and not implementing some of the features that our community asked us to implement, like for instance single asset Yoshi staking or some Yoshi rewards, that kind of stuff, because we must make sure that we don't thwart our of this work through just going for what the community asks for. Because if our utility, according to some, let's say central, let's say how the Security Exchange Commission or maybe some other regulators call it not a utility token but a security token, then perhaps we just thwart our work and won't be allowed to implement fiat on ramp in some jurisdictions. So it all takes, very careful and time-consuming work with lawyers and regulators, but we are getting there. Okay, Pharaoh's gone. Pharaoh, mate.
Mike was bugged, sorry. Yeah, I see how that can be very complicated because, it creates issues, legal issues to resolve when you're trying to deal with more jurisdictional matters.
Uh, uh,
Um,
I'd like to comment a bit on that because, okay, so I joined the team during the week when Yoshi was launched. Also, there's been a Phantom Dev conferences that week, and it's a funny story because we announced on Phantom Dev conference that it's going to be completed, the fiat on ramp integration. It's going to be completed by the end of 2021. I know many people keep asking that, keep asking why we didn't complete it according to the plan. The thing is that the team of course has its dream and has its goal and has its technical capacity to and had it to complete it before the end of the year. The problem is that they had no experience of going into such difficult regulatory issues, and they didn't expect that it will take so long to get this license for this legal entity. Took almost until the end of that year. Now even more paper consuming processes are happening, and honestly, I don't want to brag a lot, but I probably will a bit. That if the team found and hired me like maybe a month earlier, I'd be able to provide some insight and explain them that it's probably not going to happen by the end of 2021. That's because I did and still do. So I did 6 years in corporate structure and consulting, and company formations and facilitation of dealing of these companies with financial institutions and also with audit. And I know how time consuming these processes are, and I would tell them if I met them sooner that it's not going to happen by the end of 2021. So yeah, but we are getting there. I know how these processes took, how long they took. I personally assisted in opening bank accounts to much simpler companies with very simple services like, I don't know, transportation of some basic goods. Yet still, if you're opening a bank account for a foreign offshore company, it consumes time and it takes lots of KYC and due diligence processes, and with crypto going directly to trade finance institutions and demanding something, it's not going to happen in a couple of months. It's not, but we are getting there, so we are very resilient about this.
Very cool. So I'm gonna get to the community questions now. Nizix asks, can you tell us a little bit more about the team behind Yoshi? Did some of you guys slash gals knew each other before the idea for creating Yoshi?
Oh yeah, sure. I'll tell you. So there is like a core team plus 14 developers. 14 developers are sort of a team under the CTO. We don't really communicate to them. But the core team consists of 7 people, including the CTO, and we are sort of explained in quite a detail on the article by Phantom Foundations called Yoshi Exchange on Phantom Foundation Spotlight. Because I don't think I'll be describing the whole of our team for too long, but I can take the second part of the question. So yes, indeed, with the exception of myself, who is the community leader and the content creator, and also our marketing manager, other 5 persons in the core team knew each other before, and they also worked on another project before that. So they probably, I don't know for sure, that they probably know each other for more than a year. And they previously they worked on different kind of project, or it's been like a startup not on blockchain, but yeah, I think they knew each other for sure.
Okay. So we have a question from Life for a Year. Can you tell us about your thoughts on the Chinese New Year event that you hosted? It came out great. Do you have more plans like that in the future?
Yeah, so I think many participants protocols were quite happy about the results because it we allowed protocols to introduce themselves and to talk to each other, and of course like newer protocols were introduced to the older ones and to the audience as well. We gathered some noise. Also, if you're curious, we wrote a short article on Medium, and we posted it today. So to do a small short recap about this event, and of course this whole meetup has been planned with that in mind. So if you have noticed, I didn't want Yoshi to be sort of having some kind of preferences during this event. It's been just one among many other protocols. And we also introduced three projects. It was like two protocols and also one influencer. In the end, they were too late to be admitted, but still, I wanted them to participate at least in the last part. And I'm already happy to tell you that some of the protocols started collaborating, although they met just during this meetup event. And I also hope that some of the audience got more interested and learned a lot more about some protocols. So that it's awesome. This big event, as I explained during the event, the whole date hasn't been picked by random. Actually, the Chinese New Year is accepted like globally as the beginning of the new economic cycle. So it's been like a great opportunity to talk about what Phantom ecosystem achieved over last 12 months and what's going to happen future to it and how it's going to develop, and to see how many great projects appeared since then. And as for the future, well, I mean, we can't run such events every month, and it wouldn't be even effective to do that. I personally would like to run some more, focused events, inviting several protocols or influencers, and discussing for maybe 1 or 1 hour and a half some specific topics. So, I mean, those are not going to be like 3 hour long sessions involving 10 to 20 speakers. But yeah, I'd like to keep this thing going, and perhaps we'll do such meetup at least once a year. That would be a great idea.
Yeah, I liked it a lot, and it was pretty cool. It was a lot of fun. From Deej here, is Yoshi doing any directed marketing to the normie crowd? So you guys were saying that it was going to give some exposure to Phantom. Who are you trying to target with your marketing? Is it like Deej said, the normies?
Okay, actually, that would be a good question to ask our marketing manager, because I know that our marketing manager had. I actually introduced Yoshi to him, and he's been hired, I guess, in the beginning of December, as far as I remember. He works on his, as I call it, magnum opus, a big marketing plan for the whole Yoshi campaign, and it's a little bit complicated for me. Of course, he had like a big career in three various marketing agencies, and became a director, grew up to the role of director in each of them. So he definitely knows his thing. I personally I personally more involved with the community, and I'm mostly reach out to crypto savvy people. Of Currently, as fiat on ramp is not yet ready, I personally don't think that targeting like people who are not into crypto would be like effective, because by the time we roll this out, they might forget and refocus on something else. But you know what? Let me like change the focus of the question a little bit. So currently, if people simply don't even want to register on centralized exchanges, but they for some reason want to buy some crypto, the fastest way for them to do this is to go to something like on ramper and get crypto with fees from 5 to 15%. Literally, it's not a joke. I checked. So on this, I'll tell this story. My father wanted to buy some crypto, and he showed me a service that he found. It wasn't exactly the on ramper, but something similar to that. And I checked how much USDT I would get if I pay 100 USD from the card, and I would get at the time 85 USDT. So imagine 15% fee. It's not as high on every token, but it's still like abnormal. We want to do our fees like fair. They can't be close to zero, because payment card operators in 2022 are still going to, cry out wolf, and not willing to leave us with very low commissions. But we aim to get the fees as low as possible, ideally as low as at Binance, which is 1.8%. But yeah, currently we are. It would be not very effective to target some people who are not specifically interested in the topic, because that would be just wasting the marketing budget on people who'd simply forget everything in a week.
Yeah, I can see how that would be a little bit difficult. Um, from the alpha, do Yoshi have plans for a direct purchase payment rail, or will the card integration only allow purchase of said assets? In other words, can you buy a random token XYZ with your card, or will it just be a given set of tokens?
Okay, that's a good question. So, thing is that uh, how the transaction is going to be like legally, how it's going to be seen if documents are brought forth. So we cannot actually agree with the payment card operators that our users will be able to buy any token by card, because imagine that we list some token and they disapprove, and actually they won't even it's with okay, so with TradeFi it's not like everything is allowed that it's not forbidden. It's vice versa. It's like everything is forbidden if it's not allowed like formally on paper, and they are simply not going to allow us to list any token and pre-approve it in advance by the fact that we have listed it. So the transaction is probably going to look like this. When person does the process of purchasing a token by fiat on ramp, then uh, first, so the actual transaction formally, like on paper by documents, will be purchased in Yoshi tokens by card, and then a swap would be done. And perhaps, of course, it will be so a smart swap. So let's say there is not enough liquidity to buy some, I don't know, random XYZ token with Yoshi, because there is no such liquidity pool, or such liquidity pool is very small. Then of course it will do swap for something more general like Phantom or USDC, and then it will swap for that token. It's somewhat similar to how you see swaps are depicted on Spooky Swap interface, if you often do swaps there. But yeah, so formally uh, the token which has been purchased exactly by the payment card is Yoshi. It's probably going to be only Yoshi, and Yoshi will be purchasing what you need, maybe directly, maybe indirectly.
Okay, really cool. And yeah, I guess you don't really need to be able to buy the token directly with a card, because you can then just route it. As long as you get it onto blockchain, it's already good enough. Then you can do everything on chain and solve the problems there. Okay, I think we can get to the final question. We're almost at 40 minutes here and 40 minutes on your side. So here's from Saki. Are there legal issues with using the widget as a US resident? That's a good question.
Okay, so okay, Saki, while I'm answering, you can also specify: do you mean as a website owner or just a user of someone's website? So, anyways, Widget is like an embassy of our website on someone's website. So basically, what you are doing while using the widget is that you are using our website. You just don't have to go to our website and leave the website in question. So I think that there are some. So with the United States, it's somewhat complicated. I mean, being even corporate structuring consultant for 6 years and dealing specifically with issues of taxation in some foreign jurisdictions, and it's still complicated for me to go into the US territory. So I actually, when I need to provide some of the consultation about the United States, I usually refer my clients to the lawyers from the United States, because to stay on the safe side. But in general, I believe that it depends on a specific state. So, as far as I know, some states have much more strict regulations against crypto, and you can't even do like normal centralized exchange trading, or even on US approved exchanges like Coinbase, without really using some VPN or something. It's not a crime, but formally, directly, it's not allowed. With the widget, it's the same. So imagine it's actually when you use widget on a third-party website, it's you are doing the same thing as using that same widget. Oh no, no, not the same widget. That same service on Yoshi.exchange. So yeah. Uh,
Okay, very cool. And I think he did clarify. Yeah, he was specifying that is for users. So yeah, I think he got his answer. Okay, we got a little bit of extra time. We can answer another question, I think, if you're up for it.
let's take another one.
Are you planning to integrate price feeds with Chainlink Oracle?
Uh, Cor- For the moment, no, we are not planning, but that would be a great thing to do. It's just that our developers are currently very much loaded for 1.5 months in advance with what they're doing, and every time it's somewhat complicated because we often have some feedback from our community, and I, as a community leader, communicate with the community all the time, and all the time I ask them to share their experience and provide some good feedback, and every time they come up with some great ideas which look like they might be easily implemented, it still takes like more than a month to implement them. For instance, like recently we received a button to reverse the tokens on our user interface when you do a swap, and also the same works on widget. But it was a quite obvious and sounds like an easy feature, but it took like more than 2 months to realize. So currently, if something's not unplanned, then it definitely not going to be done for at least several months. I know that for sure. And currently, we don't have such plans. But that would be a great thing to do. Thank you for telling us.
And I totally feel you, man. Sometimes the community says, why can't we do this? This seems pretty easy." And you're like, it's gonna take 2 or 3 weeks, and I'm gonna be banging my head against the fucking computer for like a month. So yeah, sometimes the community can be pretty demanding and not realize that things are not as easy as they seem. Well, thank you for coming. I think it was awesome. I think you answered some great questions. Do you want to choose the winners for the giveaway now?
Yeah, so actually, I think I'll also do three giveaways. The first one will go to the Talfa. So, yay. I'll also be adding reactions for the winners so they can see. Uh, and another one is okay, I think life for a euro touched an important topic for all of us.
The final one. Who is it? Who's gonna be the winner?
Winner. Okay, but the legal issues Saki will get third one. Thank you.
Okay, congratulations, guys. DM your wallets to Ted. And
Yeah,
yeah,
DM me your wallets. My DMs are open. Also, I'd like to quickly take a couple of more questions, really fast answers. So, Shazbad asks, what benefit do we anticipate for users when they launch the non-custodial wallet? Well, we wanted to work better than MetaMask, and we want it to allow people, if they want to store their credit card details, it will be convenient. As for K-Ama asks, as no Yoshi Exchange is available on Phantom, Ethereum, and Binance Smart Chain, are we planning in other blockchains? No, currently we don't have such plans. So,
oh, sorry, didn't want to didn't want to skip a good question. Sorry. Um, okay, guys, thank you all for coming. It's always a pleasure to have you, and show some love to Ted. These AMAs are not easy, and it's kind of difficult to be on the spotlight a little bit. So it's always cool when devs and team members come out here and talk to the community and try to get some cool interactions with you guys. So give them a shout out, give them some love, go check them out. They're really cool. We're going to be partnering up and adding their widget onto our website. It's going to be a very cool feature for us. We're very happy for it because it's going to make your lives easier on there and future investors' lives easier on there. So thank you to them because it's a very cool service that they're offering, and I'm very happy to have it. Thank you guys for
Thank you for
coming,
hosting this, Amy. Yes, thank you for coming.
and thank you, Ted, for sharing the space with us and partnering up with us. Very cool to
Sorry,
work with
sorry.
you, man. And
Can I do a small announcement?
yeah, of course, of
We
course.
uh, we are currently having an trading activity. Yeah, I've forgotten to tell this. It's actually a big thing. 2 weeks ago, Yoshi listed for the first time on centralized exchange, the L Bank. And so we wanted to fuel a bit the activity, the trading activity on the Yoshi USDT pair. And the activity comes to an end, and there is a prize waiting for one winner. A prize is equivalent of $1,000 in Yoshi. And currently we have only, I believe, 8 or 9 entrants, which means that currently the chance to be the winner and get $1,000 in Yoshi is more than 10%. And all you have to do is just get the account on Elmbank and trade Yoshi USDT pair for the turnover of $100. So maybe it's like just one deal for $100, or maybe just two deals for $50. It doesn't matter. It just should be the transactions. And then just paste the screenshot of your transaction journal on our giveaway channel, and you'll enter the giveaway. So it's over in 5 hours, I guess, and 4.5 hours. So anyone has enough time to enter and perhaps become the winner of $1,000 in several hours. It's very easy, and chances are great to win.
Yeah, very cool. I mean, free $1,000. Who doesn't love that? Thank you, Ted. And again, thank you for coming. Very cool to have you here. Hope to have some more AMAs with you guys and some more cool partnerships and cool interactions. We got to do another event because it's always fun. So thank you for coming, man.
All right, thank you.
Do
Have
you
a
have a
good day.
final message you want to give to the guys?
The final message is that I think that we're doing a great job here. By the way, I think maybe we'll be gathering sometime with our community on our server, playing the predictions games on Scarab Finance. So that would be
I
great.
I can join. I can join.
Okay, I'll let you know then. So we just need to pick up some time.
Yeah, no problem. I gotta head to the bathroom and I still gotta do some work. I had some meetings that I still have to get to, so I'll try to pop by.
Right. Goodbye, everyone.
Thank you so
Thanks.
much. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you for coming.